I'm hitting the record button, so don't say anything naughty. Okay, we are recording. You guys can see my screen, right? Everybody good?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, well, it's not going to be a long one today because it's we hit the hardest one last time. So this one is talking about the low tech, no tech game. Now, really, what this is, before I go into this, I'm going to go into the assignment itself before we talk about the game so you can see it. So the assignment itself is the game must be playable. Now, do not worry if the game is not fully playable. That's fine. What we're trying to avoid is somebody coming up with a game that would cost millions of dollars to make and would have things in there you can't do, like hovering. You know, you have to hover for 3 minutes. You can't do that. Well, maybe you can. I don't know. But it's got to be realistically playable for very little money. It needs to relate to the other topics. Now, once again, if for some reason your topic does not relate to a game of a low-tech, no-tech variety, that's fine. Just make it something kind of tangential. At least it's got to be close. As I said, I always use the example of if you're doing something with the solar system, don't make a game about Jane Eyre. It has nothing to do with the solar system. It has to have the educational component. You can't just say, oh, yeah, I teach kids, they'll play kickball. That's really not much, you know. It has to have some sort of educational component. Now, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you want to base it on Clue, for example, that's fine. You can base it on Clue. But you can't just copy Clue. You can't just say, oh, well, Professor Kumquat in the, not the study, but in the room next to the study. You know, you got to make it, do some variety to it, please. It's got to be low tech or no tech, and it really has to be essentially free. Once again, you can do a video presentation if you want. You could do a keynote PowerPoint, however you want to explain it, however you want to get it across, that's great. You have to make sure you identify the audience. You have to make sure the rules are described. We can't be guessing how to play this. And demonstrate a sample round. Show us how it works. Okay, so let's go down here. Pedagogy and Press. Oh, I remember reading that in my doctoral stuff. Piaget. Okay, so we went over this.
There's that pedagogy of the press. I thought that was Pablo Fiera that wrote that.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking about it. I'm like, wait, that's not Piaget. Yeah, it's Prairie.
Yeah.
Prairie. Paulo. Yeah, I was like, why is when I read that, I'm like, that doesn't sound right to me. It's not Piaget. But I remember Pedagogy of the Press. I remember there was oh great, now I just forgot it. Thank you. Now you made me feel bad. There was three stages. It was kind of like Maslow's hierarchy, but there was 3 stages, and the Pedagogy Press talked about how they missed the middle stage. They go right from one stage to the next, like self-actualization, something like that. But that's a typo. It's supposed to be Paulo Freire. Anyway, so we went over this. So this is basically you're creating a game that should relate to the previous week's stuff. And the final goal is, for week 4, is you're creating an entire packet so that if we teach the same thing, let's say we're both corporate trainers, and you've come up with these amazing games to teach computers to the corporate people. You could literally hand it to me, and I could say, oh, okay, I know how to use it now. It should all be easy enough for someone to use. So you're creating one concept, and you package it, and you could sell it. You wouldn't sell it to me. You'd hopefully give it to me because we're wonderful people. Okay, so you're not supposed to laugh at that. Now, let's just say you just cannot think of any kind of low-tech, no-tech game. If you really have to do something, you could use one of these. Honestly, nobody's done this yet, thankfully. Have we done Zondel? That's what this is, Zondel?
Mm-mm.
I don't think we have we? Zondel's a free site where you can create, in essence, tests. Here, I'm going to play this one. Okay, let's see this one. I'm going to say Mary was involved in a plot.
Go on, puppet.
Okay, did you hear the guy? What was the casting call for this one? Creepy English guy? Here. Now, this one is not a great thing to use. Here, I'm going to pop it. Woohoo! There's a fishy.
Big fish, eating as many little fish as you
Listen to
can
this guy.
in time allowed.
What was the
Watch
casting
out
call?
for the heli bombs now.
Look, do they do this in Britain? Do they drop bombs on fish? Is this a common thing? If you notice, this has
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with the Tudors. Here, okay. Which king did I don't know, Richard III.
Can you pop the balloon?
Hey, Andy.
What was that?
Andy.
Yeah.
Andy. Sam.
I
Obviously, you have never gone fishing with a quarter stick of dynamite, my friend.
Yeah, that's very funny.
It's amazing how many fish you can float to the surface. It makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah, well, this is related. Apparently, the British go whole hog. They use helicopters and helibombs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to play
I'm
this
off.
for a minute or two, just so you can see. This has nothing to do with the tutors. It's a good distraction, I guess. It's like a reward in a way. Oh, go away. I want to try to stay alive just so you can see that nothing really happens. Well, whoa. Ah, go away. I can't see my screen now. No. Oh,
Daisies.
so close. Okay, one more. Which do you think? Now, this is a horrible question, by the way, because it's got an all of these, which is wrong. And makeup, I don't know. Did he ban makeup? I would say work on Sundays. Oh, it's all of these. See, I should have gone with the gut. Gone for all of
Go
these.
on, pop the balloon with a pin.
Didn't I say like most of the time, all of these, that's the answer?
Oh, it wasn't a fishy.
Okay, I'm done. This guy's creeping me out too much. I can't do it anymore. Okay, so as you can see, that's a kind of free game, but it's really not related to the instruction. Now, if you want to really get into it, there's something here called Stencil. I've never actually used this completely, but supposedly you can design programs and stuff without knowing code. I find that really hard to believe. See, I know coding, so this stuff I recognize, but if you don't know coding, you would look at this and go, whoa, what is this all about? So this is if you want to do a low-tech, no-tech where you design a free game like this, be my guest. But this takes a lot. If you have time on your hands, I would say do this. I want to show you some examples that other people have done so you can see the range of games. Okay, so let me bring them up here. They're all over here. There it is. Here, this one. This was a while ago. If you notice, this game it's a low-tech, no-tech board game, and it's not really based on a fun topic. This is where you escape Nazi persecution. And so you can make very heavy games if you want to say that. They don't have to be all lighthearted. And here, I'll go through it. See, he's got the rules. He's got all the rules here. He's got special spaces. Now look at the cards. I'm not expecting you to design all the cards. He's just demonstrating that there are cards in this game. They fall into the category of fate cards and interaction cards. They're not meant, you don't have to design the whole thing. I mean, if you really want to, be my guest. See, and then, here we go. He's giving you a sample round and telling you what happens. So here's how the game works. I thought this was a really good idea, and this might be an easier way for kids. I think he was a junior high history teacher. Might be an easier way for them to handle getting into the whole Holocaust and Nazi Germany and all that stuff. So he's going through this. See, he draws an interaction card, and he explained what happened. So he didn't have to go high and heavily in depth here with this. The 17 slides, and it was enough to give you the idea about what's happening. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay, now this one I thought was a really interesting one because she's an art teacher. And this game, there we go. This game is where she had just done a whole thing about 1 point perspective. Are you guys familiar with that? 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective? Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think she's a 6th grade art teacher, and she was teaching that. So here, she's got a little recap of it. This is what you need. She gives me the materials. These are the rules. And it's not just drawing 1 point perspective. You're writing a small story around it, which gives it a little more oomph, I guess. It makes it a little more interesting to the kids instead of just drawing boxes. I asked her what she was smoking when she made that one. She drew these herself. I'm like, wow, that's kind of creepy. Give the guy a lobotomy or something. He looks very happy about it. So here's the stickers you get for doing well, and they have a voting process at the end. So it's not just drawing, but you're going to show it to other people and have a voting process. And these are awards you get, and there's the ribbons, and here's some examples coming. See, this one, Warzone, that's kind of, a little very heavy for a sixth grader. Alien City. She did these freehand, she said. She just had to get them out real quick. So this one didn't really have rounds per se, so she didn't have to go into the rounds for it. Okay, but there's a little story goes along with it. So this is a more flexible kind of one. So she's being very creative with this. Okay. This is my buddy Milton. Morton, I'm sorry, Morton, not Milton. Morton. God, he's been gone for like a year now. This is his rank rupture game. He was in the military, and his games dealt with helping people understand rank. So once again, low tech, no tech. He's showing you he based it on card games. These are the inspiration he got. Here's the concept behind it. There's the card design, which is actually a pretty good card design. Either we lost somebody or just got somebody. I heard a beep beep. So that's a pretty good card design right there. See, he explains the card, how many cards you get, and then the different games, how you play them. See, outranked. It's like I declare war, and all the different rules. So he had a bunch of mini games here. Double time. I think that's kind of like spit. That's what we used to call it. The combining games. So his was. This is a good one. Well, this is just flashcard memory cards. So that's it's good for learning it real quick, but it's it's the lowest form of knowledge. It's just memorization. So that's how his games were played. He had a bunch of little games. You see, he's not in education. He's in the military, so you can do stuff that doesn't apply to K through 12. Okay, Frack Attack. This is the fraction card game. Once again, she's showing you its cards. Gives you the rules. And this is all you need. Not a lot. Okay, and here you go. You get the fractions, and there's different games. Like here, you can match the fractions. Like here, let's see, 1/8, 2/16 is 1/8. There's a match right there. I said what she should add here is like percentages. Like 50%, you could have 2/4, and the kids would have to know that that's equal. She told me to shut up when I said that. So, and then look at the score. It's just a piece of paper. And there's the equivalent fraction chart. It's kind of like a cheat sheet for all the kids. I think she did fourth grade. That's what she was. Now this game. Okay, this game is based on this woman that was in the financial aid office at this college. I'm trying to remember this college name. Johnson Community College? All you gotta do is go on Google, look it up, and look up Westgate Entrance College Boulevard. I think it's like Johnson or something. Virginia area. Okay, this is a campus navigator game, she called it. Basically, it's like a scavenger hunt game. This would be played during a freshman orientation, and they have to find things and take a picture, not steal it. I was in a fraternity. We stole stuff. Don't tell anyone that, because I can get in big trouble.
Yeah, like it's a secret.
Yeah, right, yeah. You're all dialing the cops right now. So these are the different materials. You got your missions, and it has questions. What if you're scheduled for the wrong class? And one of the things they got to do is go find your advisor. Take a picture of them, or take a picture of where the advisor is. These other mission cards. So here's a sample round. See, if you look real close, I can't make that out what that says. Kind of looks like what is it, Harvard? The symbol? They stole from Harvard. Okay, so there's an example of the game. So that's like a scavenger hunt type of game. So you can see the games take on a lot of different ones. Now this one, I spoke to him about this, and what it was is he teaches in a school that is like super, super poor district. And it made a lot of sense then because I love the little characters he has. Basically, you're using a deck of cards and their own textbooks. And what you do is like here, science is a spade, a club is music, heart is math, and a diamond is history. And basically, they just come up with questions based on what card they choose. Doesn't he look happy? This guy looks really happy. Look like a Lego guy. Okay, so they get to read through their textbook and find a question to ask Team A. Bam. Very, very, very action-oriented here. See, and then they pick a question. So this really takes low-tech, no-tech to the nth degree here. This is completely free. I mean, yeah, you have to buy a deck of cards, but I think they can swing that. Was that, like $1? So this, and once again, this is, they use their own textbooks, and this was pretty creative in the fact that, like I said, there's just nothing to buy. And the kids probably would have fun with this. I remember back in school, in junior high, we loved social studies because on Mondays we used to play current events game. And the teacher would just ask us current events, and we would be on teams and all that. I had a blast with it. And there was nothing there. She just had to watch the news. Okay, so there's how that game plays. Okay. This is interview disasters. This one is meant for people who are going to go on job interviews. Okay, there's what you need. Child throws up on your jacket as you head out the door. Take the child with you. Show the interviewer. Throw jacket away. So this one is like, it's kind of like a situational game. It's like a acted out kind of thing. That's actually them, by the way, playing it. He actually made it and played it. So it worked out for him. He tested it and worked. I think that's his daughter. So there you go. Claire wins. Good for her. You go, girl. The reason I'm showing you this one is not so much for the game itself, which I thought was a really good idea too, but see if you can figure out. Take a second. Can you see this? Yeah, let me see if I can make it bigger. Okay, I'm just going to keep going here. This is not for schools. This is for an industry. Blue, you know, they're very proud of blue in the title. He does. See if you can figure out. If you look real close at this, you might be able to figure that out. Can you tell what this game was designed for, or who it was designed for? What business?
Well, it's for JetBlue.
There you go. Very good. JetBlue. Yeah, he made this for JetBlue. And it's dominoes for JetBlue. So this was to be played during some of their training sessions. Once again, nice idea, and they act things out, and et cetera, et cetera. So I thought that was a really good idea. So once again, showing you that the games don't have to be designed for K through 12. Okay, Museum Mysteries. I'm trying to remember what she taught. I think she taught high school. I'm trying to get this centered so at least we can see it easier. There we go. Okay, Museum Mysteries. Okay, you're introducing or reinforcing art history. And I thought this was cute. It was going to have mini easels on it and little paintbrushes, things like that. Forgeries, so they have to know if it's a forgery. So this could become a real game. In fact, the reason I'm showing you this is when I was a kid, they had a game. I can't remember what it was called, but it had to do with art. And behind each of the little cards, you could change, but you'd put different values of the artwork. And so I think it was called Masterpiece. And it was a similar concept. You learned about the artwork, and you'd win money or something. So she drew a little board for it. I guess these are the different art museums in the world. Is that the Louvre? I don't even know. And there's some information cards, the front for the player. What's the title for the artwork? Well, that's a tough one. Flowers. That was easy. I'm not an art person per se. So this is a very standard board game that she designed. Okay, so any questions about what you're going to be, what you'd like to accomplish? Everybody feel good?
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to cheer. Yeah, woo. Now, what I like to do, now this part of the session, I like to throw it open to you guys. This is where take a few minutes and brainstorm, because what happens is in the past, like months ago when I didn't do this, I'd have people panicking, sending me emails saying, I just can't think of a game. I have no clue how to make it work. So this is where I started doing it. I would throw it open to you guys, and you can mention your topic and what you think might work as a game, and we talk about it. We talk some ideas through if you need that. Now, if you feel that you know this point blank and there's nothing you need from any of us, well, then to hell with you then. No, then you don't have to stay, but that's up to you. Sci-fi version of Battleship. Why am I not surprised by that, Justin? I knew that. I remember when I was younger, I tried to design something like that. It was a board game with planets and spaceships and things like that. So you stole my idea. It's really what it comes down to. Okay, so if you, like I said, if you feel comfortable with this and your idea you feel really does translate and you have a good idea for a game, and I mean you're done, you're fine. That's up to you. If you aren't quite sure and you want to mention it to the class and see what people can brainstorm, this is a good way to brainstorm. So I throw it open to you. If you want to say something, just go ahead and say it. And if you don't. We've got a quiet group. You have no idea of a game. There you go. See, I like that. What was your topic again? Your game topic originally? Your first week, I should say. Week 1.
It was a game about finding out silhouettes and of ships, ammunition, ranks, all included for the Navy.
Okay, so what's the goal? What are you trying to teach?
Basically, I'm trying to teach the how you call this. Oh my God, I can't even think about it. It's the proper identification of the ship by their silhouettes. If they belong to any kind of fleet, the ranks of the officers enlisted, stuff like that that slowly builds up to build a whole command.
Okay, who's the audience?
Basically, the Navy personnel.
Okay, so it's meant for people in the Navy. I'm guessing it might be meant for even new people in the Navy to get a handle on what's going on.
Especially for new people.
Well, actually, the one that Morton did with the cards is very similar to what you might want to think about. You could have like a deck. You could have a deck of cards with an image of the ship on each one, and then they have to answer questions about that ship. If you're saying like the armaments and the people on the ship, who be in command and all that. And it could be on a board. It could be connected to a board game. It could be like the game War, where if you answer it correctly, you get to keep the card. Something like that.
Okay.
Were you here when I showed you Morton's?
I don't know. I got here about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah. I'll bring it back up just so you can see it again. It was called Rank Rupture. You know what you could do? You could steal Morton's and hand it in again. I don't think he'd care. No, Morton would find out. He'd be very upset. Actually, Morton's a good guy. He wouldn't mind. Here. So Morton's game, very similar concept to what you're talking about. His was based on card games. So just saying, like, here's different ideas he had for different card games. And here's a card that he designed. So you would play games with this card. And so like here, this would be like war. Who wins? Who's the higher rank? You could do that with the ranks. You could have a card with a silhouette of a ship, and you play war. You put them both down, and then the person who thinks they won has to explain why. So instead of just playing war, they could say, "I have a cruiser, I win," and the other person goes, "No, I have a battleship, I win, and this is why." So there's an example of what you could do here.
Okay.
I got a submarine, ha ha.
Well, then your card is blank. There's nothing on it. Okay, so there's an example for you for that. Anybody else have any ideas they want to throw out? Could be for him, could be for you.
I'm thinking about something along the lines of like a Yahtzee.
Okay.
You've got to collect, the name of 4 bridge designers, or the name of the different kinds of stress, or
Okay.
just something like that, to where the first person that you know, somehow they collect. I don't know if want to use cards or dice or what. Maybe with the board game, something where they just collect different.
Well, what's the
I
goal?
call
What's the goal of the game? What do you want to teach?
basically the basics of bridge design,
Okay, so you want to
the
teach.
concept,
Okay,
and one of the best ways to teach anything is to teach the history of it. And anytime you teach something like bridge design, it's look at examples of bridges that have been built, and maybe something along those lines, something that's consistent with what I did last week, which was definitely way honed down from what I had done the first week.
right. I'm trying to think what we could do with that, because remember, you want to make it interesting to them, and it's got to be applicable for what they're doing. Would you want to consider having a game where they actually build bridges with like popsicle sticks?
Well, that could be.
Like they have to, if they came.
I'm just thinking of all sorts of different ways to make it low tech.
Well, yeah. Remember, you don't have to physically make this thing, but I was thinking, what if you made a game that had different kinds of blocks in it, and they had to build different types of bridges spanning all the different generations, like a simple arch or a suspension bridge, things like that.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of different ways you can go with it. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
spitball a little bit.
How about they have to figure out a way to fix the Tacoma Narrows Bridge from the 40s?
Oh, yeah. Has anybody besides Andrew seen the Tacoma Narrows Bridge collapse? That's an incredible video to watch.
Galloping Gertie, yeah.
Galloping Gertie, yeah.
Yeah.
This thing was built across a gorge, and it had a real strong wind, and it started getting this resonant swing, and the thing just ended up just twisting and breaking, and
Yeah.
it was incredible.
It looked like it was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Galloping Gertie. I mean, yeah, it's a neat thing. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you've never seen it, go ahead and Google it. Just Tacoma Narrows Bridge. It's
Yeah, you should. Yeah, that's why I'm saying I would have you could have where people build bridges and you have to tear them down. Like someone puts together a bridge with cards, not a physical bridge. I'm saying, oh, I'm going to build a bridge and I'm going to use this arch card. I'm going to use this mortar card, and then you have cards that can bring the bridge down, like stiff wind card, and it's like kind of like a game like War in a way. Like they pick cards to build their bridge, and you have cards that can destroy it. Just some ideas.
yeah. Hopefully, I'll get something figured out by like maybe Thursday or Friday, so I can put it together.
Fine. Galloping Gertie. Anybody else want to talk about their ideas or feel good or what have you? I guess everybody feeling good. Okay, you don't have to all scream at once. Well, if you feel good about your ideas, that's fine. Remember, you can always reach out to me if you're getting stuck with stuff, and I'm happy to blue sky with you if you need it. Or remember, talk to your classmates, and if you're stuck in something, just remember the core things. When you want to make a low tech, no tech, besides for the fact it's got to be close to free, what are you trying to teach, and who are you teaching this to? And think about what would interest them and what might get them to keep playing it. Think about games that are very popular that people play all the time. Card games are very popular. Monopoly, don't do Monopoly. But, that's the one. I always say that rule. I almost forgot to say it. The only game you can't do is a Monopoly game. Okay, because I remember one year, I think there was 21 people in the class, 16 of them did a Monopoly game. I'm like, stop, no more Opolies. Okay, don't do like Bridge-opoly. Okay, no, I don't want it. That's the only one you can't do. Any other game is fine.
You've got that in the assignment sheet. It says no Opoly.
Okay, I forgot if they had taken that off or not, but I wanted to stress that no Opoly games. I'm not dealing with that anymore. It's so annoying. Yeah, be creative. Okay, so I'm here. I'll stop the recording. So if you want to say anything naughty,